Jonathan, say hi to the YouTube people.
Hi.
Yep. John, do you think my videos are boring because they're just about filmmaking? There you go. Hey, he finds them very exciting. You want to improve your cinematography, your directing, and get onto bigger shoots. I know you do because I do. Just had a recent commercial that we did for a company called Arcadia. I'll tell you more about them in a minute. But even to this day, directing and DPing well into my career, there's still so much I'm learning, and I love that I get to be a student filmmaking. So we're gonna break down some commercial cinematography, directing in this, and I'm gonna talk about what I learned, because I'm still learning lots. The gorilla pod into the snow. Hi. One thing I learned on this shoot was the importance of lighting the space and not just the person. See, I work in documentary, so for my interviews I'm shooting, I'm so focused on lighting the subject. But sometimes I overlook about the importance of lighting the space. And when I work with really good grips and gaffers like Adrian on this, he was really stressing about lighting the entire space. We are at the Evil Empire Studios. That's Christoph and Jesse's space there in Hamilton. I really appreciated the effort that Adrian put in to making sure that the entire room was lit, because that's 50% of your shot, essentially. You have your subject and your background. And I think it's actually a skill set we should all be working on more, is how to light a location. If you're part of the Cinematic Eye, that's our cinematography course, Nick Pilecki stresses this so much on his shoots, especially his Spirit Box shoot, where they light the entire space. And this is a really important part, like where are you putting the lights, are you adding haze? And so for many of our shots, Adrian was adding lights against the ceiling. We used a Nanlux Evoke 1200 Fresnel, and we also had the Nanlux Evoke 1200B kit. That light, very powerful. We kicked it into the ceiling, and we often used an RGB filter. That's where we created these shots with the beautiful pink and blue background. Work on lighting your location. You will not regret it. It will improve your shots. So quickly, the gear, before I get into the tips. We used an FX6. I wanted this because we had to shoot super high frame rate, 120 frames, and the FX9 doesn't do this, and we didn't want to go all the way up to the Alexa because we had some budget constraints. We did have a big crew. You know, there was almost 30 people on set. A lot of the money went to just paying those people, not into all the gear. I used my iron glass lenses. These are old Soviet lenses that have been rehoused and cinevised, so they have gears, so we were able to actually use a proper follow focus on this. I love the guys at Iron Glass. They're over in the Ukraine. They still shipped me these lenses in the middle of the Ukraine war. We had the 35mm Mur, had the 58mm Helios, of course, you know, that's my favorite lens, and then the 85mm as well. And for one or two shots, we pulled out the Sony 70-200 just for some quick inserts, and it had the autofocus. I used my small HD Teradek Cine 7 because it's just so great. And then in terms of lighting, you can just see this list of lights here, and I'll put them down below as well. Oh, look at that. We've been shooting 1/40th shutter. I should get fired.
You're fired, get out of here.
But let's jump into this. I want to give you kind of the tips if you're shooting a bigger shoot to go through that checklist, because as a shoot gets bigger and as there's so many people on set, it can get overwhelming on if you've actually got everything that you need. So where do you begin? All right, there's 4 things. This is kind of a quick checklist for you on a big commercial shoot. You have the needs, which I'll also call a win. Then you have the emotions, then something new, and your strengths. What do I mean by these? Well, first, your client has needs. You should study them. You should really know what they want to achieve with this. And one of your first shots of the day, this is just how I've always done my commercials. I start with one of the most important shots for the client, the shot that will calm their nerves. Because if I hold that till later in the day, all the cool, fancy stuff I'm trying off at the beginning of the day will just annoy them, because they've just spent all this money on this entire crew, and they want to see a win. They want to see something that's going directly to their need. So what was the need of the client? Well, this was virtual reality. They had 2 things. They wanted to show their gaming footage, and they wanted to show how athletic and how exciting and how much of a cardio workout their software is, because you put on the headset and then you play like a sport in an actual environment with a bunch of people. That was the shot we started with. We did this big shot showing all these athletes running around, people sweating, the engagement, the excitement, the dodging, the moving, all these things that I can't do. And then we cut it in with the game footage. This was the first thing we did at the beginning of the day, and the client was ecstatic. He came actually up to me and said, I could cry right now. This is what we've been envisioning for so long, and it's so great to finally see it. So start off with that. Start off with a win. It's going to make your day go so much better. Hi, I'm no longer in the snow. And why that is, I wanted to let you know, May 1st, we're gonna be doing a live interview with an incredible director named Lance Oppenheim. He's done Some Kind of Heaven and his new film, Sperm World. They're wild documentaries, unlike anything you've ever seen. And this is part of our monthly industry expert calls that we do for AOD, but we're opening this one up to the public on May 1st. So you want to check it out. And if you join Art of Documentary, our filmmaking academy, this is something you get part of your purchase, is our monthly industry expert calls. This is a deep dive into the minds of some of the industry's best filmmakers. We're gonna have some Academy Award-winning doc filmmakers on upcoming calls that you're gonna be able to interact with. Art of Documentary, our doors are opening on April 30th right now. You wanna get in the first few days, up to 35% off. And when you join AOD, you get lifetime access to the community, be part of our Facebook group. This is where people are posting jobs and collaborations. I will never stop talking about AOD on this channel because of the life change we have seen in the filmmakers who join, landing six-figure contracts, getting their films onto Netflix, winning awards at festivals. It's so cool seeing people level up in their career. Doors are opening on AOD. Don't miss out. Why am I in a force? It's become a family tradition that, it's become family tradition on family day that I come out here with my brother's family to Fernie, BC and do some snowboarding. And this marks my 1-year anniversary from this fall. And I'm very proud of that fall because I did not drop the camera. The next thing you should be looking for on a commercial shoot is emotion. Emotion is just how we connect as humans. Seeing something that humanizes and makes the shoot more grounded in reality, to me, is important. So that's one thing I'm looking for, is I'm asking, have I got the emotion? Have I told the story on someone's face? So getting a couple of those shots, like you can see here, especially this end moment when they score their goal, that is key. Once I have that, I can finally start moving into kind of the tricky stuff. As long as I've established a beginning, middle, and an end. That's just very obvious. Get your opener shot, get your closer, but you already know that. Find somewhere to sit down and go over here. Next, on any shoot, I want to try something new. I'm just kind of tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And this is where I need to be open to other people's suggestions, but also be brave enough to try something that can completely fail. So something new I tried, something really simple, is I did handheld off a dolly, and I am in love with it. I love handheld cinematography, but walking forward and doing a handheld shot just always isn't that perfect unless it's meant to be like a little shaky. But I jumped onto our doorway dolly here, which we had set up for our main shot. You know, we had 100 foot of track in the space for this epic shot. But I just hopped onto the dolly, stood there, in some cases even just sat there on an apple box, and they would push me in and I would go handheld. So got rid of my footsteps, but it still had that organic little shake to it. Highly recommend this. If you don't have access to a dolly, just sit in a wheelchair and get someone to push you in. But anything like that you can still get your handheld, you'll get that human feel, but you'll also get rid of your footsteps. My favorite shot in filmmaking. Terrence Malick does it all the time. Last thing, play to your strengths. Ultimately, you've developed some sort of skill, and that's because you like it and you enjoy it, so you've made it better. For me, that's running around handheld. That's like full tilt sprinting handheld. I love it. I can say with humility that I'm good at it, or at least I think I do, or I think I am. I'm not good at grammar. Put it this way, I enjoy it. I love handheld. So for me, I knew if I did that, it would produce some of the best footage of the shoot. And so we made sure we did. Ran around handheld. We had all this beautiful dolly track getting this smooth shot, but ultimately, if you're gonna shoot sports, you need some of that handheld feel. So I got in there, got the extra shots, running around, being one of the athletes with them, and I'm really glad with how that worked out. Lastly, this is a bonus tip. Like I said, just be open to suggestions. I really had my mindset on certain music, and the creatives over there at New Kid, Matt Don and Rich Brown, suggested some other music, and I begrudgingly tried it. But it was the right choice. So kudos to them for pushing me. I think you always need to be open to other people's suggestions. Don't get stuck in your mind that you know everything. It's the worst type of creative to work with. Ugh, it's the worst. My goal this trip is to hit 100 kilometers per hour on the snowboard. I don't know if I've done it yet by the time this video is done. Today I recorded 90.69, so almost 91 kilometers per hour. I guess I'm at that age where I stopped doing the park and now I'm just going for speed. All right, I'm gonna get back to snowboarding here, but if you've made it this far, I have strong feelings for you, but leave me a snowboard emoji so I know you're one of the 10%ers, as I call it, the people who made it to the end of the video. Oh, I hate goodbyes, but I love Oreo Thins. They're low calorie and they still give me that sugar rush I crave. But I think ultimately ribeye is my favorite food in the world. I eat one every night. All right, see you guys in the next one.